Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Replicant Reactions, where we do chill but thoughtful reactions to K-pop and other music videos. But today, we are going to be looking at my top 10 of 2025. Now, I wish it could be a top 25 of 2025 because I had a real hard time picking a top 10. But we'd be here for 2 hours if I talked about all the music videos if I made a top 25. So what I'm going to do is just do a contenders list somewhere here and talk about those a little bit before we get into the top 10 because there was just so much good music this year. I just started my channel 4 months ago, so a lot of these weren't even songs I could react to on my channel. So they aren't songs you can go watch me react to, but they are songs I've been listening to on repeat all year long. A lot of the songs that didn't make the top 10 are maybe even more favorite songs of mine than the ones in the top 10, but this is a music video reaction channel, and so it's the combination of song plus music video that ended up making the top 10 in the top 10. But it was a hard decision, but it was so much fun. And I got to watch a lot of these music videos again, so I could like rehash in my memory, like, oh God, that one's the one that stuck in my head so much, or this one, oh, this one really got me good. And the other part that's the problem for me while making a top 10 is that it's just going to be like K-pop boy group top 10. I can't open it up wide to T-pop, P-pop, C-pop. I'll never be able to make a list. So I'm trying to keep it clean. Otherwise, honestly, if I was just making an overall top 10 for like Asian music boy groups, it would be SB19's Damn, because that song just blew me out of the water. I had heard SB19 before. I like some of their songs, but that music video, coupled with that sound, those voices that just don't sound like they should go together, but they just go together so gosh darn well. The music video was out of this world. They took all of the Philippines money for that music video, and it was like watching System of a Down for the first time. You're like, what the heck is this sound? What are they doing? Why does it sound so good? How is this pop? That would probably be my number one video if I was doing it. So had to say that because SB19, damn, that entire album, that album would probably be in my top 5 in general for the year, because that was such a great album, including Time, where I cried like a little girl watching that first take, which you can watch. But we are going to get into my top 25-ish. Like I said, I'll just quickly talk about this list. And it was so hard because some of my favorite groups are in the contenders, like Nexi, All Hours, Six. There's so many great bands that I just love their music videos so much. And some of them I'd listen to way more than I even listened to my top 10. Like some of these ones, let me look at my list real quick. Gravity's Set Net Go, I listened to on repeat. 17's Thunder. Key's Hunter, I loved that video so much, and I just am obsessed with Key. Psychers, the Six, especially the Wonder You song, the video was different from what they usually do. It was a great song, not just because they were shirtless, but it was a great song in general and a great video. Stray Kids Divine, one of their most recent, was a favorite, especially since it just went so well with Thunderous and that whole vibe. And Sungmin's Soulman's opening could easily land in a top 5, just that 2-second part, honestly. AHOF, their debut Rendezvous was so good and surprised me because I didn't think I was going to care that much about them, but both of the songs that I've heard, Rendezvous and Pinocchio, were both so great. One Us's X, I listened to on repeat. I like One Us. I saw them recently this year live, and they were so good. And Hypen almost made the list with Bad Desire, but I get physically angry every time I listen to that song because it's so short, and the video is too short. and it's just one of those K-pop songs that should have been longer, and you can feel that it should have been longer because it was such a great song. It needed one more bridge, one more something. It needed an extra minute, 30 seconds to make it a great song, because I listen to it all the time, but I get physically angry when it's over. Honestly, I do. So that didn't make the top 10, even though I listened to it on repeat. 8 Turns Electric Heart I loved so much. All Hours Gimme Gimme. What were some of the other ones that I had on here? That's it that I think I wrote down, but there was some other ones from it's literally like a written out list. Was it EXO's newest one? Really kind of like hit me in the feels. I really liked that one. Daesung, one of his songs was so great. There was just so many. But anyway, we are going to get into the actual top 10. I made a playlist for it on YouTube. I'm just going to kind of play them in the background while I talk about them. It'll help me kind of just remember why I liked it so much. I'll keep the sound way down so it doesn't get in our way. But I will start off my top 10 by just playing them. So let's go. I'm going to turn it down so it doesn't get in my way. But the first music video, number 10. Number 10 is Extraordinary Heroes' Beautiful Life. And this music video was just, it was just a great video. It was like a Queen video, and that's what a lot of people said about it. A lot of people said that it reminded them of Queen, and it's supposed to. It's clearly a throwback, and it's done so well. I love Extraordinary Heroes. Saw them live this year, and they were just so rockin' and awesome. But this video just had such a cool story to it, like with their double selves, and find out that they're clones, and it was just such a great video. Like, as I skip through, I want to see like some of what people were, what are the most played pieces. Oh, of course, when they're coming down the hallway, them against each other. Oh, it was such a good song. I listened to this song over and over and over and over again. Between this one and Fire Misery, that was such a great song too. They killed it this year. I really, really like Extraordinary Heroes and everything that they do. I didn't get to react to this one, of course, because it was way before I started my channel. I've gotten to react to ICU, which was also an awesome song. But yeah, Extraordinary Heroes, top 10 spot. Great, great, great song. What do we have next? Rise. Bad Bag Back, number 9. I love this song so much. This was one of those songs that I would listen to on my just like earphones while I was cleaning or something. The song came on, or I was listening to the new album, whatever it was. But I stopped everything I was doing. I stopped sweeping. I pushed the earplugs into my head, and I was like, I need to hear this better. I need to hear this on the big headphones. And so I ran into the living room, put these guys on, attached it to my good sound system, and just blew my ears out with the bass that came with Bad Bag Back. And I just have such a crush on Sohee's sharp, crisp voice, and it shines so well in here. And I just love it so much. I call him a crispy critter just because his voice is so great. But the bass just... I actually bought tickets to KCON this year for nothing more than so I could hear this song in a big stadium. If I didn't see anybody else, if I see nobody else, I don't know who else is performing. I looked at the list, I was like, oh, it's a great list, I'm so excited. But I bought the tickets initially because I was like, they're going to perform Bad Bag Back, and I have to hear this at a concert venue. I spent that much money just to hear this song live. So, number 9 spot, Rise, Bad Bag Back. This whole album actually would also be in my top 5 albums of the year because I listened to, back to front, this album over and over and over and over again. I really, really love this album. The slow songs were beautiful. The faster songs were great. I didn't think there was enough music videos for this album. I wish there was a couple more because there was some songs. Ember to Solar, I know, had like a animated video, but I would have loved to actually see a full music video for that because that's one of the songs that I listen to over and over and over again. It's such a great song. Anyway, Rise, Bad Bag Back, number 9. Loved it so much, and I just loved Shataro's dancing in this one. I love the bag dance. Please don't touch mine. So good. They just look badass. They're sweaty. The dance practice, they're all looking great. Shataro looking badass. Just great. Loved it. Number 8. Nexi, Beatboxer. Now, I struggled with Nexi because I liked quite a few of their songs this year. And I originally had I'm Him as my Nexi song, but I realized that I listened to Beatboxer way more, even though I think maybe I like the I'm Him music video a little bit more, but just like the style of how the music video was made, I like better. And I like their kind of like demon look a little bit more in that one. But in Beatboxer, the video, they're dancing, the choreography, and just the hook of the song itself kicked my ass. I woke up with this song in my head more times than I'd like to count. And even my mom, I showed this song to her, and during Christmas break, I heard her like humming it and singing it to herself in the kitchen while she was making food. Like it's so catchy. And this was the first time as a reactor, as I was watching them, that I really got to see some of the really great b-boying. And when I watched it during my initial music video, I was like, is that CGI? Like, how are they staying up like that? How are they doing those dance moves? And it's because they're amazing b-boys. And I didn't know that. So that was me discovering Nexi, where I really saw how great they were dancing when I saw Beatboxer, and then started watching more of their dance practices. And you Nexi fans have been so great on my channel, encouraging me to watch more dance practices and get into more of their stuff, because Nexi really did end up 2 or 3 songs that would probably be in my favorites of the year. Lots of great stuff. And one of the main things about Beatboxer that I just can't get out of my head is just the smack. It just makes me giggle every time you hear that whoosh. I'm just like, every time I'm like, oh, you beat me up. The whoosh just makes me giggle every time I hear the song, every time I see the video. It just makes me laugh. And the other thing that gives me a little bit more edge with this one over I'm Him was I still don't know anybody's name because I'm trying to remember too many names right now. But the blonde in this one with the raspy voice, he's my favorite. He's the one I can pick out right now, even though I don't know his name. And he has a longer line in this song than he does in I'm Him that I just love his gravelly voice for. The scene where they're in the hallway, and I just love when he comes in and does that. Is that the most played? It's not the most played part. Close to, though. That part. Oh, it just comes in so hard. And in the hallway, I remember in my reaction video, I laughed at the fact he almost knocked over what was there in the hall. And it's just such a great music video. It's so much fun. It's so catchy. Great. Loved it. Okay, what do we got next? 7. Number 7. What do you think it is? X-Love. One and only. I loved X-Love's debut song, but this one just had a whole nother beat to it, a whole nother vibe. It's the one that made me actually like learn their names and learn about them as artists and learn where they were from, and did more of a deep dive on them in general after this song. And this song was in my head the entire first half of the year. Me and my best friend just couldn't get it out of our heads. It was one of her favorite songs of the year, I think, too. She listened to it just on repeat. I love the dancing, the choreography. Rui's fucking Jesus, just amazing. I loved the dark style of the music video. I really love when they're doing the the dark cuties, as I like to call them, dark cuties. A little goth vibe, which is my vibe. Fucking doily hat, I can't. I love it. I love it so much. Their choreography was great, catchy as hell. They're killing it. I love what Xlove is doing. I love everything that you saw about them on the internet this year was just all great and just made you feel so good for them, and they're getting a lot of support. It seems like more support than hate, which I was afraid of, honestly. I was scared for them when they first came out. I was like, oh my god, please don't be in a hotel room by yourself on an 8th floor. Like, I was just so nervous for them, honestly. So it's really great to see that they are getting the support they are getting so far. And I love this video. They're killing it. So Xlove, so damn catchy. This is my favorite song that they've done so far, for sure. I've liked some of their other songs, but this one far and above favorite song out of anything that they've done so far. But I cannot wait to see what else they're going to give us. All right, are we ready for number 6? Got kind of after looking at what we've been looking at so far, I feel like number 6 is going to be a little bit out of left field, but also it won't be surprising. It is SHINee, Poet Artist. I still have not done a big deep dive on SHINee on this channel, but I have knowledge of SHINee, and I've seen quite a few of their songs, and all of them as individuals. I've seen a lot of their music videos. I'm generally obsessed with Key. He was actually one of the first K-pop artists after Taemin, not knowing that they were in the same group. I originally discovered Taemin long time ago and was just obsessed with him. I knew he was in a group, but I didn't really pay attention to what. But Move, Guilty, just so many songs that I was obsessed with. And then separately, I fell in love with Key for his solo stuff. And I had no idea they were in the same group, but I loved them both separately. And then when I found out they were both in SHINee, I was like, holy crap. And then I looked at One You and I was like, holy crap. And it just spiraled from there. So all 4 of them, I love all of them even more at the moment as solo artists over their group stuff. But this song, it just so happens that I do know the story of it, and I did watch the behind the scenes, like the production of the song, and so when I did watch the video, I cried really hard, tearing up just thinking about it now. I'm sure you all know, but it was a song written by their lost member, and it was so beautiful. When Jonghyun left us, and they kept his voice, like his what do you call it when they do the guides? They kept his guide track voice in the song and they asked his family if they could, and so they added it into the song. It was a song he wrote, and watching them record it and then seeing them all come together to do this song just really, like, destroyed me. And it's such a great song. You can really hear him in it from the little that I've seen of SHINee with Jonghyun in it, and he did a lot of the stuff, so you could see that it has his stank on it. It has his signature, and they did such a great job of putting it together and doing this together, and it just makes y'all teary-eyed. So this one goes in top because it was just so cool. And where's the part where they left him in? This. Oh, it just makes me tear up. But they kept him as part of it. It's so cool. So great. I feel like that was really important to them, and they did a really good job of putting that in there. I just think that's so cool. So, number 6. Right? 6? Right? 6? Yes. All right, what do we got for number 5? Number 5, Stray Kids, Hollow. Now, I was going to put Divine in here for my Stray Kids song, but another one, Hollow, just destroyed me. I'd never seen something quite this sad and fucked up from Stray Kids, and I wasn't ready for it. And it felt like when it came out at a time right when they, with their contract, and they had just kind of done their big tour. Dominate had just kind of almost finished, and this Japanese release, I don't know. I wasn't ready for it. This music video destroyed me a little bit. And it was one of those ones where I felt it first, and then I paid more attention to it. And then when I watched it the second or third time, realizing all the horrible things that were happening in the video and what they were talking about just kind of destroyed me. It made me want to make sure that they were okay, honestly. But the whole story about them, the puppets, and them feeling like they're being controlled and losing their light and always on the hunt for something they can't find, and walking over their friends and family and loved ones to get to this thing that they don't even know if they really want anymore. Oh my God. And then when they start stealing each other's light, it was just like broke my heart. Seeing Lino like pull the light out of Han was not cool. It was not cool. And then Ian getting knocked over the head with a light and killing him, and Hyunjin falling out of a tall staircase. Like, look at that. This whole scene where they're just, oh my God, destroyed me. Top 5. Top 5, because I was not ready for this scene where he's crawling up to get that last bit of fame or light or dream, and he's sacrificing himself and doesn't realize that he's fallen out of a staircase and died. Like, fuck. I've never seen something this sad from them, and it hurts me in a way that some of those like movies that stuck with me ever since I was a child did to me. Like, this song does to me what like Requiem for a Dream does to me. It's just so heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, but to this dance beat, it's kind of like ATEEZ's Ash, where you're dancing along, but you're crying by yourself in a dark corner. You're like, okay. I wasn't ready. Great song. Top 5. All right. Number 4, &TEAM, Back to Life. I obsessed with this song and this music video, specifically together. I love the song, but when I reacted to the video, I had only maybe seen one other music video by &TEAM, so I didn't know them that well. I knew I liked what I'd heard, but I didn't know them that well. And I know that this was their Korean debut, and so when I reacted to this song, I just wasn't ready for how dark and fucked up and great their voices sound, and that opening choreography where they're all pushing Maki up. This song got me obsessed with &TEAM immediately. And &TEAM fans, Lune, you guys have been the best fan base on the channel so far. You guys have just been so funny, lovely, helpful, a sense of humor, not taking it too seriously, not giving me a lot of shit for not knowing things. You guys have been great, and that has also helped me love &TEAM, because any fan base that is like that, obviously, it is a group that deserves those kind of people. And so it made me really just fall hard for &TEAM quickly. I now know all of their names. I know all of their faces. I'm not going to do a test because I don't need to. You can trust me. But I now know them all. I was watching them all during, Gayo Dejan, where they perform there, and I was like, Mom, I got them all. Maki, Taki, Yuma, Fuma. Like, did them all and called them out. But this song, I didn't even really know that they were a werewolf theme. I didn't know a lot about them. But the figure and the darkness back there, I was immediately like, ooh, what's going on here? And then when I saw a close-up of Maki's face, admittedly, I thought that was, one of the prettiest faces I'd ever seen in my life. And that didn't hurt. But the scene at the end, the Venom scene, oh my gosh. That part, well, and that part. Get out of here. The Venom scene, oh, with Kay, oh, so cool. I saw that, and especially in this part where they're dancing and you hear all of the shrapnel in your ears, like whipping by you. It's such a great music video. And this Venom scene where he's being taken over, and that creature that they created for him, that is one of the coolest shots. I want that printed and put in my house. That shit was so cool. I love that so much. Couldn't believe that for a Korean debut they did something like this, honestly, and it just made me love them even more. It was daring as hell, dark for K-pop and Korea. I feel like, that's why so many Japanese videos are on my top list in general, not just this list, but why I like so many Japanese music videos is they're just darker. They just know how to do dark well. Like AT's Not Okay is one of my favorite music videos of all time for K-pop in general. It's so good. And Japanese know how to be either the cutest things ever or the scariest, darkest things ever, and love it. And this showed me a little bit of both, and I was obsessed with that. Great music video. And then when they're dancing and it's going back, you see everything going back in time. Everything's setting itself right before Joe grabs Kay. Ah, so good. Loved it. So now we are getting into my top 3. Now I'm a little pissed off because my top 3 all have under 10 million views, which I think is it's just maddening, honestly. I can't believe some of these don't have as much as they deserve. Especially number 3, Woods' I'll Never Love Again fights SB19 Damn for best song of the year. It is such a gorgeous song. Woods' voice can't be compared to anybody else. He's one of the best singers. Full stop. His voice is truly amazing. And the fact that this is the song he came back with after he came back from the army is insane. And it has such a great, deep meaning to it. The music video was gut-wrenching and beautiful and heartwarming and heart-wrenching. And it was filmed beautifully. The single shots with the multiple scenes going on and the multiple people's lives coming in and out of each other. With his voice. I wasn't expecting the kind of song it was going to be, like how hard he was going to go. Of course, why would I expect any different? But I only know a handful of Wood songs. He's somebody that I know I love, but still maybe 10 songs maybe that I've heard total that I've listened to just on repeat, because he is somebody that I still am doing a deep dive on, and I don't want to listen to any songs until I do it on here. So I'm just listening to the same 10 songs over and over again. I'm listening to the Uli album, this, and a few others that I've reacted to. But this song is my most played song on Spotify or Tidal or whatever I use now. It is the most played song. cannot listen to this song without, one, listening to it 6 times over and over again, and two, immediately going to the Uli album and just listening to it, the whole thing from start to finish. Like, anytime a Woods song comes on, it is now an hour-long ordeal because I can't just skip Woods. I have to listen to everything that I know of him every time one song comes up, and this song was my most played. This has what, 1.1 million views? Go watch this song. Like, this... Go watch this song. The video is so well done. His voice is ridiculous. And the meaning behind it, I love that, when he's talking about I'll never love again, and it's showing people fighting or falling in love or making up. It's boys together, it's girls together, it's mothers and daughters together, it's boyfriends and girlfriends, it's a little girl and her dog. Like, he's talking about all love, not just a singular love, and it just makes you feel all fuzzy inside. I didn't realize that during the last 5 videos that I was going to be a little bit choked up as I talked about them. But this is why they're in the top 10, is because they weren't just great songs and videos that had a bunch of CGI or were just, high quality, done well. These last ones so far have been ones that have ruined me a little bit. And if you can do that to me, you belong in the top 10, And this, I think, has 1.1 million views, which is just, like I said, unacceptable. 1.1 million views. Absolutely unacceptable. Go watch these. Go watch these top 3, because, like I said, the top 3 have less than 10 million views. So, number 3, Woods. He'll be in the top 3 as long as he comes out with songs. He's going to be in the top 3 of my favorite music videos probably every year, no matter what, because he's amazing. All right, are we ready for number 2? Oh, I lost my whole situation. Number 2, we have... Oh, you're going to hear from the opening. ATEEZ, Ash. Now, it was hard enough for me being an ATEEZ stan, alt bias, that I didn't, just have a top 10 ATEEZ songs. It's really hard for me not to do that. And I originally was going to pick In Your Fantasy, because that one was a shock to, well, everyone and no one. I mean, ATEEZ being freaked out has been one of their key things for a little bit now during Golden Hour, which has been just so much fun that they don't have to fight corrupt governments and, fight with their other selves and be dark. They got to have fun and be party boys and live in this, fake universe that their lore has created for them, where they get to do these kinds of things. And I love that their lore allows them to do that, do different genres. Even though they started with a dark concept, that they were able to find a way to bring the lore into an area where they were able to be party boys and have fun and just give us some great shit. But originally I picked In Your Fantasy because nobody was ready for that. It was, it was written by fanfic. And they were like, yeah, let's do that. Give them what they want. 50 Shades of Grey, Eyes Wide Shut, vampire, blood sex. Yes, please. Kind of, alluring and raunchy for a K-pop video. I know there's been plenty of other videos where they're doing that kind of stuff, but the vibe for this one was something I hadn't really seen before in K-pop, so that one was going to go as number 2. But then I was thinking about ATEEZ, and I'm going to try to not make this an ATEEZ video, but I was thinking about the ATEEZ trilogy for this series, Golden Hour 3, with Lemon Drop, In Your Fantasy, and then their Japanese release, Ash. And even though Ash is a Japanese release and somehow people think it's not connected, which is ridiculous to the lore, it was a great ending to the trilogy of the Golden Hour main music video series, because Lemon Drop had the bright, shiny, summery vibe, and they kept visual markers through all 3 videos that weren't necessarily connected to their previous stuff. So these were kind of a self-contained story. With Lemon Drop, when they are in the pool scene and you see a bunch of people in the back dancing, silhouettes, and then In Your Fantasy, you're on the other side of that veil where you're in the red area and you're seeing the people dancing on the other side of the room, which is the other versions of themselves being much darker vibe than they were in Lemon Drop. And then Ash brings it to this very, once again, gut-wrenching, sad place of thoughtful wistfulness, where they're imagining everything that they've been through before and all of the work that they've done, and that they're becoming different people, and that they're losing the older part of themselves and becoming these new parts of themselves. And it was a perfect song and perfect video for the Ashes to Light Japanese album, because what was interesting and what took me way too long to realize in the Ashes to Light album was each song, every other song, one was darker and one was lighter. It was, Ash was darker, and then 12 Midnight was a little bit brighter, and then you had Tippy Toes, and then you had, I can't remember the order, but each one was a dark and a light, dark and light, Ashes to Light, dark and light, dark and light. And the Ash video was the same way, and they portrayed what the whole album's concept was in that video by giving you a very dark, very sad, very wistful lyrics and song and vibe with a just straight up club bass beat. So it's another one kind of like Hollow, where you're sitting there like tears in your eyes, but you're like dancing at the club. You're like, why do I feel like this? It feels 2 different things. And it did the same thing. And I thought that was really cool and purposeful, very purposeful, especially when I realized the Ashes to Light album had that kind of setup, and that this song was exactly what you were getting with the whole album. I thought that was genius. So it took over In Your Fantasy because I thought it was planned well and done well. And it even brings back ideas in lore and everything else and their themes. All of their other stuff is coming into one place where they're becoming these different people and getting to do different kinds of stuff. Loved that. Number 2. That's number 2. For all of those reasons. Now, number 1. How was ATEEZ not my number 1? I don't know. I don't know why this happened. I was expecting ATEEZ to be in my number 1. But they weren't. And I didn't even play that song because I got so into talking about it. I didn't even play the song. Sorry, ATEEZ. Love you, clearly. But I just loved the vibe of the song and the explanation that I had already given. Go watch the song. Again, a song that only had, I think, 4 million views, which for ATEEZ, I know Japanese releases are different, but for ATEEZ, that's crazy talk. How does an ATEEZ music video only have 4 million views? So go watch that. The shots of them, the sea of them in the pictures with the boat, beautiful, shot gorgeously. Sorry, I'm giving this a little more time because I realized I didn't play any of the video. And then when this bridge happens and they all start singing together in harmony, and then it's that final 30-second ATEEZ, final 30-second Jango hootin' and hollerin'. Just great. And then you have the In Your Fantasy stage there, which is now in cemetery in some dark future in black and white, where it's that same in your fantasy stage that is now turned to ash, turned to dust, changing. And in their lore, things are taking places in cemeteries, and they're just doing such a good job of bringing it all together. That's why it's number 2. And okay, now as I was saying, from a number 1, I can't explain it. So number 1 is 82 Major Takeover. I just can't. This does the same thing to me that SB19's Damn video does. Like, it's so weird, and it makes no sense, but it makes all the sense. And the way it was filmed was just genius. And so I may actually watch this whole video. Number 1, 82 Major Takeover. It was filmed so well. The shots were genius. Whoever directed this was genius. The thing I like about 82 Major is that they're funny as hell, and they just have this effortless cool about them. Like I said, I'm not even a person who I love singing and rap together and hip hop. They have more hip hop than singing, but every time they come out with something, they just make me laugh. They blow me away, and they just seem effortlessly cool and effortlessly hip hop. They don't feel like a Korean group trying to do hip hop. They feel like they are a hip hop group, which honestly, I feel like is kind of rare. Even though you hear rap and hip hop in every K-pop song, it doesn't always feel like they are hip hop. And for me, 82 Major just feels like they just are. They are that. They are that cool. They have that swag. And for some reason, them with all of that swag, with 90s emo punk haircuts and pink pajamas, being that cool, the mashup between those two things, I'm obsessed with it. It's just so fucking good. The pink outfits, the pink goth emo style with their swagger. We were just walking through the city streets, like this shot. I'm a photographer and a photo editor, so I'm sure the shots have a lot to do with why it's my favorite. But everything that they wanted to portray in this music video is done with shots that wouldn't ordinarily be done by a K-pop director. You know, whoever directed this, I know that they're famous, but I don't know anything about them or what else they've done. I looked up the name at some point because I was so obsessed with it, but I've already forgotten everything. But you don't usually see shots like this. It's just genius. I love they always have the thing with the masks that they do. That shot in the stairwell is fantastic. It's telling a whole story. His little shitty like Han face, like little Quokka face, just makes me giggle every time. I had this hair. And I think that's a lot of it too, is it gives me a time that I grew up in, with the kind of person that I was and the people that I hung out with, that's coming back, or is starting to be something that's cool again, or they're just throwing it back because now that's a classic look, which makes me want to throw up. But whoever did the styling for this knows that time period. They weren't just like Googling something. Like the hair, the style, the chain, the shirts, it's perfect. They're giving that early 2000s emo look. And it's just fucking funny. They are comedy, and to be that cool and be funny and not take themselves that seriously makes me love them even more. But just this little move that he's doing with the user hoodie on, this shitty little move that he's doing, it's hysterical. There's so many little things about it that are just It's the dichotomy of the two, of the coolness and the I don't care that we look like little emo kids in pink pajamas. We're still cool as hell. This shot, the slow, awful transition shot. Like I say these things like they're bad, but they're not. It's all purposeful and it's all done so well because it's of a time. It's of a time that these things were shot, and it's whoever shot this knew exactly what they were doing. They weren't just making a shitty transition because they don't know how to make a good one. It's giving you a very specific vibe, and this whole video gives you a vibe that you can't get away from. And you're in this world, and this world is so hysterical and swaggy and fun. And 82 Major continuously surprises me with every video that they show me. It's just this shot where they're coming in the subway. The pink pajama, like the way it drapes off of them is hysterical. The moves that they're swaggy moves that they're doing with this muted color subway system. They're trying to hide, but where they're wearing these big bright pink pajamas in the subway. It's just all so good. The move where they're just kind of like hopping. It's just genius. And then when they're dressed in this and they're in the airport hangar area, they are hard as hell. Did I miss the shot in the bathroom? There's a shot in the bathroom where he's looking at the mirror and you're seeing him rap, and then you see everybody else through the mirror of the reflection of them with all of their little pink, spiky weapons. Another beautiful shot. Another shot that I love so much here is when they're all in the club and they're all looking badass in their weird superhero suits. This shot here, where they are all looking badass, it's like they're doing a TikTok video, because then the next shot, it just shows an empty club and it doesn't look cool at all. Like, it doesn't look like whatever they're showing you here. It doesn't look that cool at all. It's like it zooms out and you see them with like a fan on them trying to look awesome. This is what you see. This is hysterical. Like that shot is so funny to me. And this is how like the visual storytelling of things. There's just quick little cuts, but they make you giggle or laugh, or maybe you don't even notice them. But I was laughing hysterically through this whole thing, and I have watched this music video 100 times. That's like this TikTok move. It shows you the real close up, like K-pop beauty shot, where they all look cool as hell. It looks like there's a bunch of people behind them, like they look super important and that they got a big old vibe going on. With this shot here, you can see them in the background. It looks like it's a busy club, but then it zooms out and you see that they're just like a bunch of liars, that they got fans on with their hair blowing, and this shot with the cops looking for him. It's hysterical. I just love it so much. This weird city shot where it slowly blurs into the like city of Seoul. Such a weird shot, but it just matches it perfectly. I don't know. I used to look like that, by the way. That I had the whole vibe. That hair, the collar, the lip gloss. I was so emo. The teddy bear outfit, the superhero, and man, it's all hysterical. Well, they're being badass. Leopard pants, I can't. It's just so goddamn good. Great flow, great rap, great backup, great vocals, great beat. This last part here is great. I love that their songs always just kind of end. There's no outro. And it's just done. And the song is just over. And it does the same with, Stuck? Stuck just ends out of nowhere. It's just, you're in the middle of dancing and you're like, oh shit, it's over. Genius. That was my number one. Well, that was a long video. And I think I talked really fast because I didn't want to be here for 2 hours getting into everything in too much detail. And this is my first top 10, so give me some grace with watching it. But I hope you guys do watch it and you do enjoy it. And I hope that you go and check out all of these music videos. I am going to add this as a playlist so you can just watch all of these music videos. And if you haven't, go experience them. And if you have and you love them, tell me which one was your favorite out of the list of contenders that didn't make it to the top 10. Would those have ended up in your top 10? Give me some details. I want to hear what your guys' favorites were because they may be songs I haven't heard yet, and then I will go react to them myself and find out. So give me some news. Give me what you like. Give me your top 25 or top 10 for 2025. And maybe what you're excited for this year, if you know of anything coming out. I, of course, am waiting for a couple of comebacks myself. So thank you guys for watching. Like and follow, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and go check out some of my other videos, of which many of these are reacted to on my channel. Thank you guys. Happy 2026. See you later.